Hello, a very good afternoon to all the participants, respected Director Sir, Professor Dr. Bhavesh Kumar Chauhan Sir, HOD CSC, Professor Dr. Divakar Yagyasen Sir, Head of the Department IT, Professor Dr. Manoj Darbari Sir, and all dear faculty members. Hope you all are doing well. On behalf of CSE and IT Department, BBD-ITM, I welcome you all for an orientation session on National Innovation and Startup Policy, NISP. Thank you everyone for joining this session. The National Innovation and Startup Policy 2019 intends to guide all the institute for promoting students' drive in innovation and startup and to engage the students and faculty in innovation and startup activities in the campus. It is my pleasure to announce that this session will be presented by Professor V. Srikanth, Innovation Coordinator, IT Department, BBD-ITM. Sir is having 19 years plus experience in teaching and 2 years in industry. He has also filed and got grant for 2 patents, one Indian and one international Australian innovation patent. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us your valuable time and for the guidance. Now, I would like to hand over the session to you.
Okay. Thank you, madam. Thank you for the introduction.
Thank you, sir.
Madam, I'm not able to share the screen. Permission is enabled, disabled, it's saying. Can you use, madam?
Yes, sir.
I'm not able to share the screen. It is saying permission is not there.
Kindly now, sir.
No, now it's working. Now it's. Okay. Good afternoon to one and all. Is my PPT is visible to all?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. I am myself Dr. V. Srikanth. I am the Innovation Coordinator for IT Department. Along with that, I am working as Professor and Department in charge in IT Department. So this orientation session is topic title is National Innovation and Startup Policy, which I'll be sharing with you the MHRD guidelines being given for faculty and students of various higher education institutions. So this orientation session is organized in between IT and in association with Department of Computer Science and Engineering. So with these few words, I'll start the session. First, I'll go with the abstract. In the abstract, you will come to know as per the MHRD guidelines given by the National Innovation and Startup Policy 2019 dealing for students and faculty. It says that the more focus with respect to today's scenario, the higher education institutions should focus more on giving a lot of importance to innovation and entrepreneurship related activities. So main goal should be given to these activities where a lot of scope is there and people can do a lot of research, other things also when they focus on these two activities apart from looking at the academic point of view. So this is the main abstract of this National Innovation and Startup Policy. Main focus should be on these 3 events: innovation, startup and entrepreneurship. So these 3, we should give more focus towards it actually. Especially some institutes are doing very well in this, but as per the National Education Startup Policy and the guidelines given by MHRD, this ratio should be improved not only with respect to few higher educational institutions. It should be focused, the ratio should be increased to up to 90% and more. They should give more focus towards this innovation, startup and entrepreneurship related activities. Next. The preamble main goal and the main thing behind this National Innovation Startup and Entrepreneurship Policy is that, as I told you in the previous slide, the the committee has been formed, 15-member committee. They have decided that more focus should be given as per the norms in November 2016 by laid out the All India Council of Technical Education, which is called as AICTE. They want to address more towards innovation and entrepreneurship need in higher education institutions. Provided their main focus is people should get more awareness about these 2 activities and strong foundation should be laid towards innovation and entrepreneurship related activities. Not only for the faculties, So this focus should be towards the students and faculties of various higher education institutions. So this should be the main goal nowadays. Apart from academics, these activities, if the students and faculties can focus upon more, it can give them a value-added edge towards building up and shaping up their careers to reach greater heights. Then the main vision of this policy is the focus should be on two things which we call it as I&E, which is called as innovation and entrepreneurship related activity. So nowadays, the faculty, especially, they should think of how to start up their venture of their own and try to build an entrepreneurship cell, like an incubation center. Like that, they should think on that apart from these academics. And the lot of focus is given nowadays, MHRD, along with AICT, they are giving a lot of support for these activities to faculty as well as students to proceed in this to reach in a greater heights. Okay. Then one more thing I want to highlight here is nowadays higher education institutions, they also want to give on one more activity called IPR, which is termed as intellectual property rights. So nowadays filing a patent and getting a grant, it's becoming nowadays most of the institutions are doing it. But this patent rate is decreasing in some of the institutions nowadays, we are able to see. But as per the initiative of MHRD as well as the AICTE, this patent filing and granting, this rate should also be increased to a higher extent. Then the institutions can gain a lot of importance in terms of improving their ranking and going up to the higher level. So ultimately, the ranking plays a very significant role when you today see in the today's scenario with respect to all the higher education institutions. And one more thing, the uniformity should be maintained, whatever they want to achieve as per the guidelines dealing with the MHRD. Uniformity should be maintained with respect to all the higher education institutions when they deal with such kind of activities like entrepreneurship, innovation, startup, and IPR related activities. First, the faculty should be trained on this more so that in turn they can train the students to become more knowledgeable and be able to focus on these kind of activities. Okay. Then now coming to the main part. So this is the agenda mainly. First, it starts with the Smart India Hackathon. I'll touch upon it in brief about all this. Then we have Institutions Innovation Council, followed by Atal ranking of institutions on innovation achievements. In short, it can be termed as AREA, we call it, AREA. Then next one, which I'm dealing with it now, which is called as National Innovation and Startup Policy 2019, the guidelines framed, which I'm going to discuss with respect to students as well as faculty. And finally, there is International Hackathon also. First, I'll start with the Smart India Hackathon. It means it's in a simple way. A problem statement should be defined by the people or the user, anybody, students, as well as more focus should be towards students here. They should identify a new problem statement. Once they identify the problem statement, based on that, they try to give, they should give a more appropriate solution for that so that nobody has framed that problem before. It should be a brand new idea. Once they propose that new idea with respect to problem statement, then based on that, they should give solutions. If it is accepted by the committee members, whichever solution the student is trying to propose, then it will have a lot of value towards in the market action. So this is one thing which is dealt in Smart India Hackathon actually, dealing with the problem statement. Then we have Institution Innovation Council. Various higher education institutions are forming nowadays a team actually dealing with all the 7 activities like we start with innovation, startup, then we have entrepreneurship, internship, then we have social social media, then other 2 area, as I told you. So these activities should be focused upon. The last one is IPR, intellectual property rights. All these 7 activities, every institution nowadays, they are forming a separate team dealing with the faculty coordinator and the students who will be trying to guide them as well as students as well as faculty. They will try to motivate them and try to take it in the right direction by organizing various events with respect to all these 7 activities. So they have formed all these 7 activities into a council, which they term it as Institutions Innovation Council, we call it actually. Then the third one is called Atal ranking of institutions on innovation achievements. In short, it can be called as AREA actually. So here they focus more on how to improve the ranking of the various institutions. So I'll tell you how to improve. Some ways I can suggest you. If the institutions focus on these three activities, what I highlighted you just before, like startup, innovation, entrepreneurship, IPR, intellectual property rights, to a greater extent, if they increase the ratio, the rate to be more than up to 80 to 90%, ultimately it will have an impact on improving the ranking of the institutions to reach at the greater level. So this will be dealt in the third one, which we call it as Atal ranking of institutions on innovation achievements. Whatever you do with respect to innovation activities, when you try to achieve something, all this will count for the ranking of the various institutions. So whatever you do, that has an impact on increasing the rank of a particular institution. So nowadays, most of the higher education institutions, what suggestion I can give, if they focus on improving this area ranking, Atal ranking of institutions based on the innovation achievements they do, then that can have a very good significant improvement with respect to the institution level, not only through in the locally also, it can be extended to the outside world also. The fourth one, we call it as, this is what I'm discussing with you as an orientation session, National Innovation and Startup Policy 2019, the guidelines framed by MHRD with respect to students as well as for faculty. Then finally, the last one, International Hackathon. This is also very important. Why? Because in the first I told you about Smart India Hackathon, where you identify a local problem statement and try to give a solution. But in International Hackathon, nowadays a lot of initiatives are there. You can take an international problem also, problem statement dealing with international thing, and try to propose solutions, submit it to the international team. Nowadays, like Portugal, Singapore, many countries are dealing with it. They are conducting a lot of activities dealing with prototype, problem statement, proof of concept, this kind of competitions. You can take a problem statement dealing with the international country, any one of these like Portugal, Singapore, or major countries. You can take international countries and try to, for that problem, try to study it properly, try to give a solution, submit it to the international team. They will try to assess it and try to give a rating based on that. So nowadays, more focus is towards this international hackathon also. Smart India Hackathon is very important. If people are able to do very well in Smart India Hackathon, they can do next, they can think of giving more focus to international hackathons also by identifying international problem statement, giving solutions for that action. Next, as far as the National Innovation and Startup Policy 2019 for students and faculty is concerned, it has been launched by Honorable Minister of Human Resource Development, which we call it as HRD, in 2019. This policy main goal is to promote students and faculty to be innovation driven actually. Therefore, strong focus should be towards this innovation as well as entrepreneurship related activities. The main thing, as I told you in the previous slide, students should think of identifying a new problem. Once they identify the problem, next they should think of how to give a solution for that particular problem and try to give a very strong idea as well as a solution to that, so that people will be able to accept your statement, whatever solution you are trying to propose actually. And you should be able to promote a strong intra and inter-institutional partnership. The institute should have a dealing or a partnership not only with respect within the institution, it should be extended to the outside institution also. That we term it as intra and inter-institutional partnerships, we call it actually. Then, so these are the main thrust areas of National Innovation and Startup Policy 2019. I'll start with A, which says higher education institutions, strategies and governance for promoting innovation and entrepreneurship. So every institute, higher education institute, they should have a strategy or a goal nowadays to promote give lot of promotions, lot of motivation for how to make strong innovation support and deal with entrepreneurship related activities. So this is the main thrust area. Next, A1 says creating innovation pipeline and pathways for entrepreneurship. You should give lot of scope, pathways. Once you are a very good successful entrepreneur, then easily you can motivate others, create a pipeline or a network or a pathway, we call it, to build more and more entrepreneurships in your basic network. That is the one dealing in A1 actually. A2 is called as building organizational capacity, human resources and incentives. If anybody wants to shine in this entrepreneurship, innovation, this kind of activities, more it should be encouraged by way of incentives. By this way, you will be able to build up a team. The organizational growth will also be able to reach at the higher level if you motivate the people in the form of incentives actually. So A2 will be focusing on this. Next, coming to the B1, B part will say the norms for faculty and students driven innovations and startup. Next, I'm going to discuss on that. What are the various norms which are prescribed for faculty as well as students dealing with innovation and startup activity. B1 and B2 will focus on incentivizing the faculty and students for entrepreneurship. Whatever you do with respect to entrepreneurship, if you start a new venture or you start a new business, whatever you do, it should be encouraged by incentive, giving various incentives to the faculty, motivating them to do more and more and take up a lot of things dealing with entrepreneurship. So a lot of motivation should be given in this way by giving incentives in the way of reward section, both to faculty as well as students. B3 will be dealing with the various norms laid for faculty startup. What are the various norms available? Then C part will deal with the incubation and pre-incubation support. Like incubation, like whatever you open on your own, medical shop, whatever it can be, any business, all this should be, a lot of support is being provided nowadays to start, to do a startup activity or to do a business, whatever it is on your own actually. Then the D part will say about the intellectual property, ownership rights for technologies developed by at higher educational institutions. So IPR deals with mainly filing a patent, getting a grant for that particular patent, whether you hold the complete ownership or part of it, all that should be taken care. Whether you can only part of that ownership you may retain or completely it will be retained. If anybody is able to get full ownership, and they will be strongly motivated to go further, and they can be incentivized also for that. Okay. The last part, E will be dealing with pedagogy and learning. Various training should be provided to faculty and staff, inviting speakers from outside to give them the knowledge on the various latest things happening with respect to entrepreneurship, startup, as well as IPR, this kind of activities. Then, what are the main highlighting features of this policy framed by MHRD? Creation of an innovation fund. A separate fund should be created, which we term it as innovation fund, we call it. This fund will mainly deal with supporting the whatever projects students and faculty will try to do in way of and startups by allocating to them minimum 1% of the institution's total budget. So this should be the main feature of the every higher education institutions nowadays. They should focus on these things. Then the second important thing, academic break for a semester or a year to work on their startups. Most of the institutions are nowadays encouraging the faculty to go for this kind of setup. A complete semester break they can take or a year break, and they can focus completely on the startup activity. They can come back after a 6 months or 1 year break and try to whatever they have done in the 6 months, 1 month, 1 year period. They can come here and try to whatever they have done, they can share their details to the students and faculty and try to see if this institution can improve upon that with, by way of startups. Whatever you have done in that 1 year, 6 months period, that you can come and share it and see if somebody would like to enter into a venture with you with respect to startup activity. So this should also be encouraged nowadays, and credit should be given for working on innovative prototype and business models. As much time you dedicate working on getting as much new ideas, building a new model, that much credits will count for you whenever you try to do with these activities actually. Next one, 2% to 9.5% equity stake in startup or a company by institute's incubator. There should be the ratio equity stake should be there with respect to the company and the startup, whatever you're trying to venture into. 2% to 9.5% should be there. Then, complete ownership of the intellectual property rights by the inventors in case of non-usage of institute facilities and resources. This point is very important. If you are not involving in using the resources or the facilities with respect to your current institute, what you are willing, then it is a good thing. You will get the complete ownership of your intellectual property rights, whatever you are trying to file in form of a patent and trying to get, you will get the full ownership or the right to retain it for a longer period actually. Then the next one, services should be offered by the institutions nowadays in with respect to equity fee based or zero payment model. So this also, these services should nowadays, every higher education institution should be focusing on these kind of things. Then definitely you can see a lot of improvements can be there with respect to startups, entrepreneurship, IPR, and all these kind of activities. Then, now I'll go one by one with respect to that. The A part says strategies and governance for promoting entrepreneurship. What do you mean by this? Nowadays, the major dimension or the goal of higher education institution is to formulate a document in a whatever rules and guidelines laid by the National Innovation Startup Policy. That guidelines that according to that they should frame the document and try to proceed in a proper way. And there should be a vision and mission statements which should be followed while proceeding towards this. And then whatever activities dealing with the entrepreneurship, if you take it, it should be the responsibility of a senior level person in the rank of a dean or a director or that equivalent position. They should be at the top level. Once they are at the top level, they should form a small team and try to build a team dealing with the entrepreneurship related activities. The hierarchy should come from the top to the bottom actually. Top level should be occupied by the dean or the director or the senior position level person. Then it should come to the lower level, professor, associate, assistant professor. That lower category should be maintained. Hierarchy should be maintained in a proper way when you deal with the entrepreneurship related activities. Then, as I told you, intra and inter-institutional, working not only within the institution, outside the institution also, you should try to promote this with respect to entrepreneurship and innovation related. The agenda should be focused not only within the institution, you should go out of the institution also, try to promote it and motivate the people to take up this as their career with respect to entrepreneurship as well as innovation. Then resource mobilization plan should be in place. It means that 1% of the fund of the total annual budget should be dedicated towards these activities dealing with entrepreneurship as well as innovation. The raising fund, you can get nowadays, a lot of funding is available from the state and central agencies. Once you give the proper document, if you file it, once they find it is okay, they will try to fund certain part of the amount dealing with this kind of activities. And incubation fund support is also there under the Council of Scientific Research, Section 135 of the Company Act 2013. So a lot of support is given, provided you draft the particular documents in a proper way, so that they will like your things and be able to give the fund for the doing this kind of activities, setting up the incubation center or anything dealing with entrepreneurship or innovation related activities. And sponsorship nowadays, if you see, a lot of sponsorship and donation can come from the alumni network also. Because you agree with me, all of you, alumni is not a very small network. It's a very huge network. The best way to get touch in the alumni network is to build a strong network should be there. You should get in contact with all the alumni, whoever is there. A strong base should be formed actually, so that once you have a very strong base, strong support network can be formed in that. And through the alumni contacts, you can get a lot of contacts for this kind of activities. So alumni base, having a very strong alumni base will help you to get a lot of sponsorships dealing with this kind of entrepreneurship as well as innovation, IPR, this kind of activities. So having looked at these points, what should be the main focus of all the higher education institutions nowadays? All higher education institutions should join the Innovation Council, which we call it as IIC network, and try to participate and in Smart India Hackathon, which I shared with you, which deals with identifying a problem statement, which is a new one. And once they identify the problem statement, they should propose a very good solution for that, which is different from the people, whatever they have done actually, and try to participate in Atal ranking of institutions innovation achievement. So normally there is a thing called ARIA, we call it Atal ranking of institutions innovation achievement. Once they do very good activities in Smart India Hackathon, all these kinds of activities, not only at the local level, institution level, international level also, definitely once they participate, having done a lot of significant, very good things dealing with Smart India Hackathon, as well as international hackathon, if you take it into account, and try to involve your institution in participating in Atal ranking of institutions innovation achievement, definitely I can assure you, your ranking can be increased to subsequently a very higher percentage actually. So main focus, if you try to give more focus on these kind of activities, it will have an impact on improving your institution's ranking to go to a very higher level. Then A1, as I told you, it is creating innovation pipeline and pathways for entrepreneurs. What do you mean by this? Nowadays, the higher education institution, every higher education institution, they should try to ensure that maximum student participation should be there. So normally the faculties will encourage every time the maximum students to participate, but the motivation should happen in a very proper way. Otherwise the students will lose interest and the very minimum participation you will get. You should give a lot of awareness about these activities, dealing with innovation, entrepreneurship, by way of conducting some workshops or by inviting speakers from outside, conducting some webinars, dealing with that. If you motivate in that way, then the students will show a lot of interest. It makes them to know that this is a very good thing apart from academics. They are trying to do a very good activity. It will motivate a lot of students to join for these kind of programs actually. So that is the best way to motivate the students to show if they want to involve in maximum numbers actually. Either you can involve in pre-incubation, like problem identification, as I told you, proof of concept validation, prototype, a sample model, new model should be built, and it should be shown to the people. They will give some suggestions, refinements. You should take those suggestions, try to incorporate, and try to build the final model and try to submit that actually. If the team accepts it's very good, you will be counted as very good in the market actually. Once you are, once they say it is okay, whatever you have submitted, the problem actually. Okay, then. Now, the higher education institution should also link and collaborate their incubation unit with external agencies, not only with the local agencies, to the outside agencies also. They should build a network support. They should try to link it actually and provide support to start various incubation centers, not only at locally, but outside also. So this should be the main goal of higher education institutions as per the guidelines laid by MHRD. Every institution should focus on these kind of things actually. Then one more thing, connecting student entrepreneurships with incubate startups for internship. You should try to build a network. In that you try to connect various student entrepreneurs who are entering into entrepreneurship, and with incubate they are trying to enter into a startup venture. For internships nowadays they go for projects, other things. You try to identify that, try to have a connection, build a strong network base with them actually, and try to encourage maximum participation of students in innovation and the business plan proposed by it, and conduct various competitions dealing with it, like Smart India Hackathon is one, international hackathon, other kinds of competitions, to encourage more number of participations from the student side. Then, building organizational capacity, human resources, and incentives. This is very important. Nowadays, institute should recruit a staff. This is very, very important, this point. Whenever the institutions go for recruiting a faculty, they have to see that whether the faculty is having adequate knowledge in the innovation and entrepreneurship related activities. If they have a very good knowledge on that, the institution definitely can recruit him. Once they recruit this kind of faculty, it is a boost to the institution, because once they are recruiting a faculty having this strong innovation entrepreneurship knowledge, they will try to give their best in improving the ranking of the institution to reach to very greater heights. So the higher education institution focus should be on recruiting a staff having a strong knowledge of innovation and entrepreneurship background. Okay. Then faculties and departments of the institute have to work in coherence. In a group, they should work it, and they can nowadays we can they can do clubbing with the department also, one or two departments. If they have very good things to show it, actually they can club with one or two activity department, do the incubation, startup, entrepreneurship, IPR, everything can be done nowadays. So try to utilize the resources whatever available, and try to apply the knowledge whatever you have. You can share it with the other people also, so that one or two, when in a group you discuss the ideas and try to proceed with it, it will have a maximum impact on towards achieving these kind of activities. And faculties and staff should be encouraged nowadays to do courses, trainings, certificates dealing with entrepreneurship and IPR. Lot of courses should be done nowadays. Online courses are available. Many you can take up some courses. Some certification courses can also be taken up later, dealing with entrepreneurship and intellectual property rights. And by once you are getting certified and all kind of things dealing with entrepreneurship and IPR, you will have an added edge when you enter into the market actually, because this is the dominance for nowadays in today's scenario. Other than this, there is nothing much. Entrepreneurship, IPR, startups. So this is the thing which is going to dominate in the near future actually. So if you have a strong intention toward these kind of activities, by way of certifying yourself, by attending some courses, trainings, you will have a added advantage when compared to others. Then, to retain the talent, institute should develop academic and non-academic incentives and rewards to all staff, faculty, and stakeholders. So if people, everybody, if anybody, everyone majority of the people are involved in these kind of activities, IPR, entrepreneurship, startup. Institute nowadays should look for how to reward the faculties, whoever is involved in these kind of activities. So this should be the main focus of higher education institutions, by giving them in the way of incentives or rewards for whatever they do with respect to new things dealing with entrepreneurship, IPR, and startup activity. There should be a matrix developed, which we call it as performance matrix, we call it. That should be developed. Based on the matrix, the evaluation should be done. Annual means yearly, performance should be measured in terms of this performance matrix. Every faculty, staff, whoever is trying to achieve in this innovation and entrepreneurship related activities, on that matrix scale, it should be measured whether it's up to the acceptable level or not. If the institution top management finds that he is up to the acceptable level, he has achieved more than what is expected from the institution, definitely the institute should go for rewarding that particular staff or the faculty by way of incentives. So this should be the main goal of higher education institutions. How to make if one faculty staff is able to achieve a lot of things in the annual year, if he is incentivized or rewarded for that, that will make the other faculty or the staff definitely, why not, I can do the next time. Is the particular faculty has done certain things, it will motivate the other faculty to do a lot of things in the next coming academic year. So this should be the right focus of the higher education institutions nowadays. They should focus on this kind of activities, which is very important. Then collaboration, co-creation, and business relationship and knowledge exchange. There are a lot of programs available nowadays. I want to share with you. There is one program called Knowledge Exchange Sharing Program. Actually, some institutions are offering. Actually, people will go to other institutions. They will share their knowledge, whatever new ideas. Either they will give a seminar, webinar, or through a talk, whatever they deliver. Similarly, the other person from the other institution will come and deliver it. It's a knowledge you are able to gain from different faculty, from different domains lying at various institutions outside. That should be given. By which you are able to collaborate with people, gather new ideas, which those ideas you can include, try to see based on that ideas I can modify and do a new idea of my own when I start up my entrepreneurship, innovation, or it can be dealing with startup action. So institute should develop a policy or a guideline document for forming and managing the external stakeholders, including private industries. They should be private industries, whatever stakeholders you identify, you should develop a policy or a guideline document for that, how to go about dealing with these kind of activities. As I told you, knowledge exchange can be through collaboration, and partnership should be made. You can enter into a joint venture with other institution, either locally or abroad, it can be, and try to see how you can set up with respect to these activities, by which knowledge can be shared by different people across the globe. And you can enter into a partnership with the people not only locally, you can extend it to the outside also. Some mechanism should be developed by every institute to ensure that maximum opportunity is given with respect to when enter into a collaboration dealing with entrepreneurship, or it can be innovation, startup action. Whatever knowledge you try to gain, that knowledge development should be done by the institute through innovation platforms. You can make use of the maximum ICT capabilities nowadays, and to get as much ideas as possible when you try to deal with the innovation platform, usage of it actually. And repository of ideas. What do I mean? You have a various collection of ideas. You take various collection of ideas. In those ideas, what you do, you take the best idea, which will be more suitable to the institute or point of view, try to apply that idea, give a solution for that, and try to go proceed further on that action. Then proof of concept is there. Innovations and startups can be managed through the platform. Maximum, if you make use of the facilities, hardware and software support available, you'll be able to build very good ideas. If you make use of the online facilities available, by usage of the computer, you can get a lot of ideas done by people. Using those ideas, some ideas you can take and think of how to modify and make it as a one idea of your own. Then that will have a greater impact on focusing on achieving your goal with respect to building a successful entrepreneur, or it can be setting up your intellectual property rights, or it can be your startup venture. So all this will benefit you a lot if you are going in this direction. Then now I'll tell you about the various norms laid out for faculty and student driven innovation and startups, like incentivizing students for innovation and entrepreneurship related activities. These are the various activities. Higher education institutions nowadays should establish a guideline and a mechanism dealing with students when they are pursuing UG, PG and PhD, and faculty and the staff by setting up a committee, working committee we call it. They will frame the guidelines and rules required for setting up this innovation and startups. Like we have, you should focus on allowing the students to set up a startup which is called as social and you should try to allow the students to set up startup or working part-time. Nowadays, many students, they have the option of doing the internship. They do it as a part-time and try to focus on that one. That they try to earn some particular stipend. That is also counted as some kind of a startup actually. They are doing on their own, earning something. And then once they complete their internship, they will enter into the main project, try to join in that particular company. So this is one way of doing it. Allowing students to earn credit for working on innovative prototypes and business models. We should give a lot of motivations to students nowadays to earn as much credits as possible when they try to involve in working on innovative means new prototypes, building a new prototype or setting up a new business model. When they do this kind of activities, more credit should be assigned to the students when they do these kind of things. Then student innovators or entrepreneurs, which we call it, may be allowed to opt for startup in place of mini project or major and summer training. Nowadays, the higher education institution, as per the MHRD, they should think of, from the student point of view, they should be given more options towards the innovation and entrepreneurship to opt for, rather in place of mini project or a major one and a summer training related one. Allow the student entrepreneurships to take a semester break or year break to work on their startup. If you feel the student has very good things to make a startup venture, you should definitely motivate and give him a chance to give a break, complete a semester break for him or a year break, and give him a chance for him to set up his startup for within that 6 months or the 1 year period and see subsequently what happens further. So this type of motivation should be given at the student level by all the higher education institutions. Then allowing the student entrepreneurs or the innovators to sit for the examination. Institute need to review the attendance and after reviewed by the committee on case-to-case basis. This I'll explain you. What happens here is you can give him a break for a semester, one semester or particular complete year. And you can give him a chance once in a while to come back at the time of the exam, take up his exam, then go back and do his startup activity. This kind of encouragement should be given for every student entrepreneurship and innovators so that they'll get motivated, do a lot of activities in the near future. Then allowing student entrepreneurs to use the address of hostel or pre-incubation center, we call it, or we call it as incubation unit, to register their venture while studying at higher education institutions. When the students are entering into entrepreneurship, we call it as student entrepreneurs. You should allow them to use the address of the hostel, where the particular location address should be there, or pre-incubation center where they are trying to set up that as an entrepreneurship, or the incubation unit to help them to register the venture where they are starting their startup venture so that they can register based upon that address details while studying at the higher education institutions. So these points are very important. If you try to motivate the students in this way, dealing with innovation and entrepreneurship, definitely if any student is able to do very well in this, you should definitely go for rewarding them in a proper way. That is very important. Next, you should give incentives to the faculty for innovation as well as entrepreneurship. What do you mean by that? You should allow the faculty to start startup based on the technology developed in the lab. Faculty can do nowadays when they are working on the lab, they can develop a very new technology not developed by anyone that can be counted as a startup venture based technology and try to whatever they have developed. This can be submitted to the other agency, particular agency. If they like your thing, whatever you have developed based on the technology, definitely they will try to reward you by way of cash, whatever it can be. Same thing applies to intellectual property also. when you try to go for filing a patent, trying to get a grant for it, if you are the sole owner, if you're not utilizing any of the property from the particular institute where you're working, you can get the complete rights, ownerships for that intellectual patent, whatever you have filed and got grant for that particular thing. Then second important point, allow faculty and staff to take off for a semester or a year as we call nowadays as a sabbatical leave. Many people are doing it now. When they nowadays see many companies are offering this also, like Infosys is doing it. People go on a sabbatical leave for 6 months or 1 year, try to go to the industry, learn about that industry, work on the projects, try to get some innovative new ideas, come back, come to the particular campus after 6 months or 1 year period, and try to see whatever they have gained in that 6 months to 1 year, whatever they have gained innovative ideas while working on the project for 6 months to 1 year, they will try to come here and see whether they can implement something in this particular institution. This will have a great impact on improving the ranking of the institution also. Some ideas, if they are able to implement it successfully in the particular institution, definitely, if anything is accepted by the outside world, definitely it will have an impact on the institution to improve its ranking to reach very greater heights. So this we call it as sabbatical, unpaid leave, giving the faculty and staff, motivating them to go on to other centers and trying to see some go outside and trying to set up some new innovative idea by building a prototype or a model, or setting up a entrepreneurship unit of their own, or starting a new venture of their own, during the 6 months or 1 year period, and come back and share the ideas in this particular institution. Definitely it will have a greater impact on improving the ranking of the institutions. Then no restriction should be placed on shares that the staff and the faculty can take, as long as they don't spend time on the startup in advisory or consultant's role. Nowadays, the faculty and staff should remember, they should not completely give the designation as a consultant or advisor. The institute can allow the faculty and student on a revenue sharing basis, we call it. When they do these kind of startup or related activities, some portion of the activity should be taken by the faculty, remaining should be owned by the particular venture. They should work in the current institute and try to take some sharing, whatever revenue sharing is there, that will be applicable, it will be given to the particular staff and faculty when they deal up with this kind of startup related activities. In case faculty and the staff is drawing salary from the institute, what should be taken into account? Institute stake or the equity on the startup should be limited to 20% of the total share of the faculty, or 9.5% we call it of the total stake, whichever is minimum. Only this much share is allowed. They cannot take the full claim because already the faculty or the staff is drawing salary from the institute. So only this much portion of the total share can be accountable when they deal with the startup venture activities. Then these are the norms for faculty startup actually. As I told you, the role should be taken by the top level person. Role of the faculty while teaching may be as owner, he can be a mentor, consultant, but can't take the role of a employee as CEO actually. When they go for faculty startup actually, they can take the role whichever is applicable with respect to revenue sharing basis, but cannot take the complete designation as their own because they're already part of the particular institution. That is very important. Then faculty must clearly separate and distinguish ongoing research at the institute from at the startup or the company. Whatever research they are doing, that is, as part of the project, that is separate. When they deal with faculty startup activity, that should be a new idea that should be counted towards the research what they are dealing with when they want to enter into a startup dealing with that particular company. Then, in case of a selection for acceleration or incubation, he may take sabbatical leave, which I told you, 6 months or a 1 year break. If the committee recommends he is suitable for setting up an incubation center at a particular location, then definitely the higher education institutions can motivate the faculty or the staff to apply for a sabbatical leave for 6 months or 1 year, give him an opportunity to go back and set up an incubation unit and do his activity successfully and come back, share his ideas to the subsequent institution. Then, faculty must not involve research staff or other staff engaged in academic projects of institute in activities at this top. This point is very important. Faculty, when they are dealing with startup related activity, they should focus on not involving the research staff, because research staff, they will not be counted as part of this, whatever they do, or other staff engaged in academic projects. Again, I'm telling you, academic projects cannot be counted as a faculty startup actually. Startup is a new idea, which is different from the projects, whatever you do as part of the academic work. So these kind of things cannot be encouraged to involve in this faculty startup activity. So you should be very careful when dealing with this kind of startup related activities. Then incubation and pre-incubation support facility creation and access. Here, what do I mean by this? Facility should be given to access to 24/7 setup, we call it, to every student, staff, and faculty for discipline. When they deal with setting up an incubation support center, they should give complete support 24/7. They should be available 24 hours and 7 days a week. The provision should be given, and the sufficient space should be given, infrastructure should be there. Seed fund, we call it nowadays. Some particular fund amount will be allocated to the faculty or the staff who wants to set up an incubation center. Seed fund, we call it. That fund will be allocated to the faculty, provided the higher committee feels that he is suitable for that. A seed fund amount will be allocated to that particular faculty to make use of this setting up the infrastructure and doing the incubation related activities. So this should be encouragement given to every faculty or the staff, provided if you find that he is suitable for setting up a pre-incubation support center of his own. In case of a compulsory equity model, startup may be given a cooling period of 3 months to use the incubation service on rental basis to take final decision. If you want to use startup as a cooling period for 3 months period to use the incubation, then it can be taken on a rental basis. Finally, after the 3-month basis, if you find it can be extended, it can be done based on the final decision by the higher authorities. Then, coming to the IP ownership, intellectual property ownership rights for the technologies developed at the higher education institutions. This is what I told you. It should be a revenue sharing basis. It is in the form of a share. It is between 1 to 4%, we call it actually. The ownership rights, as I can say. Here we can involve in interdisciplinary research and publication on startup and entrepreneurship should be promoted by higher education institutions. Nowadays, we can motivate students to, when they are doing the projects, when you find that projects are very good, having very good ideas, you can motivate them to publish some research papers in very good reputed journals. Where after the journals, if you see there are some new ideas are there, very good ideas, you can motivate them to file a patent also. So these things can be encouraged at the student level by all the faculties, provided the faculty has gained subsequent knowledge, he has filed some patents and got grant for it. He can definitely look for motivating the students in that way also. And a lot of revenue shares are also available, as I told you. If you don't make use of the resources available from the particular subsequent institute, you will have the sole ownership. Otherwise, you can it can be shareable. It can be in the form of 1 to 4%. It can be the revenue sharing can be done. Then this is very important: pedagogy and learning interventions. Now, every higher education institution should focus on taking a innovation entrepreneurship as a career once they take it. While they teach these kind of subjects in that particular thing, teaching on tolerating and encouraging failures, this subject should be focused upon, and awareness should be given to students to make use of case studies should be used. As much real-time examples should share with the students. That will count for students to think on a very new way. They will get new ideas. They'll be able to think and study properly. So these are all the ways which you give training to the students to teach them in an innovative way so that they get very good ideas. Based on that ideas, they'll be able to incorporate this when they learn in the subjects. Pedagogy-based training, we call it, or it can be the other way also. You can pedagogy training means you can give them some training relevant to this innovation entrepreneurship activities by calling speakers from outside, giving some lectures on this, motivating them to learn a lot. Or it can be the other way also. You can go to a particular other institution, attend some webinars, get a lot of knowledge about this, then come back to your current institution, share those ideas with all the faculty and the students. So this also can be one kind of pedagogy training, we call it. Last, we can say you can start a part-time or a full-time, which can be MS program or MBA, or it can be PGDM, dealing with innovation, entrepreneurship, and startup venture development course to be offered through incubation center as per the AICTE guideline, which is nowadays AICTE issuing a lot of guidelines relevant to startup of the full-time programs dealing with MS, MBA, PGDM, dealing with innovation, entrepreneurship, and startup venture related activities. If you are able to do the course, prepare it as per the AICTE guidelines and submit to them, definitely they'll encourage you to start up these kind of courses in your subsequent institution, either as a full-time or as a part-time. Coming to the last part, these are all the things should be assessed by when you deal with this kind of entrepreneurship and innovation related activities. Performance should be measured on a regular basis, and you should develop based on a KPI, we call it key performance indicator. Whichever is important, you highlight, give more importance to that. Whichever is less important, try to focus on it later. KPI, we try to measure every faculty and staff or student level, you can measure with respect to KPI. With respect to annually, you can see how much they are able to contribute with respect to innovation as well as entrepreneurship and startup venture related activities. The main focus should be on input, process, output, outcome, and the impact level. How much input is at the input level, process level, what is able to focus, then how much output he can contribute to the society as well as to the institution. Based on that level, measurement has to be done. Thank you for one and all for giving me a wonderful opportunity. I thank Director SAT and entire management of BBD ITM, all the faculties for giving me a wonderful opportunity to share with you. I'll be happy to share more and more talks in the near future. Thank you to all.
Thank you, sir, for this wonderful session on innovation and startup policy. Indeed, the session was quite informative for all of us. Thank you for providing the guidelines for initiating the startup and innovation in educational institution. Thank you once again. Now, I would like to hand over the session to Dr. Divakar Yagyasen, sir, Head of the Department CSE, to share his vote of thanks.
On behalf of entire BBD and ITM team, I would like to express my vote of thanks to Professor V. Srikanth, sir. I am also thankful to our respected director, sir, Professor Dr. Bhavesh Kumar Chauhan, sir, and all our organizing committee and organizing team, in which Professor Hemlata Pant, Professor Sadab Siddiqui, Professor Zulfikar Ali Ansari, Professor Ankita Agarwal, Professor Gunjan Mishra, and thank you all the participants, students and faculty members for joining this session. I hope all of us will get benefited, and thank you all.